How's it, everyone? Credit cards come in many different flavors and categories. Two of those main categories are travel credit cards and cashback credit cards. If you take almost any credit card that is out there right now, you could probably categorize them in one of those two categories. Yes, there are some subcategories underneath those two big categories, but for the most part, it's going to be a travel credit card or a cashback credit card. A lot of you may be thinking which category is better, but we're going to save that to discuss another time. I will say though that initially I did get into credit cards because I wanted to travel for free. So of course the best credit cards to do that are travel credit cards. And today we mainly hear about a handful of travel credit cards. Some of those cards are the Chase Sapphire Preferred, Chase Sapphire Reserve, American Express Platinum Card, and now the new Capital One Venture X card. But just because those credit cards are the ones that are most popular or the ones that are most talked about, doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to be the most valuable for you. So in this video, I'll be going over an often overlooked travel credit card, which is the Amex Green card. And we're going to find out if this card is just purely underrated and just overlooked, or is it really the worst travel credit card right now? To use the word worst though is kind of an overstatement. This card actually may be useful, as you'll see later in this video, to certain people and certain demographics. So to call it the worst travel credit card is kind of dramatic. But if you Google best travel credit cards, you will look and see on many of the popular blog sites that they don't even mention the Amex Green card in their top 10 posts, top 20 posts, just their best travel credit card posts. So why is that? Perhaps the writers, maybe they haven't even heard about the Amex Green card. Highly doubt that. To find out, we're going to have to dig deeper into what exactly the Amex Green card has to offer. You may wonder that maybe this card isn't even categorized as a travel credit card. So why would it show up in the best travel credit cards list? Well, American Express actually categorizes it as a travel credit card, and it also markets it as travel and taste 3x points. So is the Amex Green card a travel card? I think it's safe to say so. But wait, hold on a second. Did I just say 3x points on dining and travel? That sounds pretty great, right? So why isn't this card talked more about? If we were to look at the competitors that I mentioned earlier in this video, only one other card has a similar category for dining and travel. And that card would be the Chase Sapphire Reserve card, which will give you 3x points on dining and 3x points on travel, but it has an annual fee of $550. What's the annual fee of the Amex Green card? $150. So why isn't the Amex Green card getting talked about more? Well, let's keep digging deeper and dive more into the details in order to get the bigger picture. Since we already talked about the 3x points on travel and the 3x points on dining, let's just start there first. Yes, the Amex Green card will earn you 3x points on restaurants, including takeout and delivery. And this card will also earn you 3x points on travel. But not just any travel. You see, most travel credit cards like the Amex Platinum card or even the Capital One Venture X card, they have high reward multipliers on their travel categories, but they have limitations to them. For example, with the Amex Platinum card, you will earn 5x points back on flights, but you have to purchase it directly with that airlines or through AmexTravel.com. Or if you have the Capital One Venture X card, you can get 10x points on flights, but again, you have to go through the Capital One portal. Those are the kind of fine print limitations that affect the amount of points you could actually earn with those cards. And that's where the Amex Green card comes in, because their travel category is a lot more broad and a lot easier to use. As a matter of fact, this travel category is similar to that of Chase's on the Chase Sapphire Preferred and the Chase Sapphire Reserve. With the Amex Green card, your travel purchases are not just tied down to flights and hotels through Amex. As a matter of fact, they're not just tied down to flights and hotels. And that's because purchases on trains, cabs, buses, Ubers, Airbnbs, car rentals, third-party booking agencies, and so much more all will be covered under that travel category. I'll be honest, having a card like that with such a broad category is so rare, and it makes it so much easier to use, and it's such a nice perk to have. Despite the great reward categories, I still don't think it's enough to justify that $150 annual fee. So Amex agrees, and they decide to add some credits to it. The first credit that the Amex Green card provides you is a $100 annual clear membership credit. And this is where things start to get worse. You might be thinking, wait a second, I'm receiving a $100 credit with a $150 annual fee credit card. Why is that a bad thing? Well, that's because the clear annual membership, the lowest tier that you could get into, is $180 per year. So this $100 credit won't even cover the entire membership fee. That means the true cost to actually become a Clear member is $80 because you're gonna have to fork up that difference between the credit and the actual price of the membership. That wouldn't be such a bad thing if you actually use Clear. But the thing is, Clear is not available everywhere. You may not even use it every time you travel, or maybe at all. And that's what makes it so hard to justify paying that extra $80 a year for a Clear membership if you're not gonna even use it throughout the year. Just for example, the only reason why I am a Clear member is because I have the Amex Platinum card, which actually covers the entire $180 membership fee through the year, so I don't have to pay anything. And if it weren't for that credit, I just simply would not use Clear because I personally do not think that I will justify the price of $180 or even $80 if I had the Amex Green card. And if you aren't familiar with Clear, it's kind of like TSA PreCheck or Global Entry. It's similar, but different. TSA PreCheck is a government program, so that means they have it available for over 200 airports across the United States. That means you're going to be able to use it pretty much every time that you travel. And Clear is located in only about 50 different airports across the United States. TSA PreCheck is also a lot more useful in my opinion, and that's because they actually help you expedite the actual physical screening process when you're going through security. This means you won't have to take off your laptop, you won't have to take off your shoes when you're going through the metal detector, and that's honestly such an underrated perk. Whereas Clear only expedites the identity screening process. This is the part where you're giving the TSA agent your boarding pass, ID, or passport, whatever. This is where Clear comes in handy. With Clear, you essentially skip that process because now you go through the Clear line, which actually already proves that you are who you are. But yes, even though you have a Clear membership, you still have to go through the actual physical screening of the metal detector, putting your bags to get x-rayed, and so on. So in reality, you want to have both to actually make the screening and security process as fast as possible. But again, like I mentioned, I think TSA PreCheck, or the actual physical screening part, is worth a lot more and takes up a lot more time than the actual identity screening process. And I forgot to mention that TSA PreCheck is just $85 and Global Entry, which includes TSA PreCheck, is just $100. And both of those are good for up to 5 years. Whereas again, Clear memberships are around $180 per year. Okay, back to the Amex Green card. I think American Express kind of knew that this credit was subpar because they decided to add another kind of subpar credit to go along with it. The Amex Green card will also give you a $100 credit for lounge access through the company called Lounge Buddy. Lounge Buddy is a company that actually American Express owns, and they allow you to pay a one-time fee to visit a lounge while you're at the airport. That $100 credit may seem like a lot, but you will soon realize that that will not last you a long time. Because when you go through the different lounges that Lounge Buddy offers, you'll see that the average cost of going into a lounge is around $40 to $50. And that's per person. So if you're traveling with someone else, you're gonna quickly eat up that credit on just one visit. Or if you're traveling by yourself on the round trip and you decide to use the lounge access 2 times, once going to your destination and once coming from your destination, you'll actually use your entire year's worth of credit right there on your lounge access. If you do travel by yourself and like once or twice a year, then this credit could be useful and you'll benefit from it. But if you're any sort of frequent flyer or travel with a group, you're not going to get a lot from this credit. And if you already have another travel credit card, you may already have lounge access because a lot of premium travel credit cards come with something like Priority Pass. And a lot of lounges with Priority Pass and Lounge Buddy actually overlap. So that means with Priority Pass, you'll be getting access to the same lounges, except you'll be getting it for free. With the Amex Green card, of course, you won't have any foreign transaction fees, as that's kind of like a given with any travel credit card. This card also comes with other benefits such as trip delay insurance, car rental loss and damage insurance, and baggage insurance. Your purchases are also covered with a purchase protection plan and extended warranties. The Amex Green card is also a charge card, which means that you will have no preset spending limit and you have to pay off the balance in full every month. Except some purchases are eligible for Amex's pay over time feature. This feature allows you to carry over a balance from a large purchase month to month, but keep in mind you're still gonna have to pay interest on it. As of right now, there is a 45,000 Amex membership reward point bonus after you spend $2,000 within the first 3 months of opening up your American Express Green card. That 45,000 Amex points is worth around $900 if you value the Amex points at around 2 cents per point. Okay, so we went over the annual fee, reward categories, benefits, and credits, and you might still be thinking, well, the Amex Green card actually sounds pretty good, doesn't it? Let's start with the annual fee. The annual fee for the Amex Green card again is $150, and that's not cheap. Sure, it's towards the lower end of the spectrum when it comes to annual fees and travel credit cards, but do you know how many McFlurries or In-N-Out burgers you could buy with that kind of money? Or that's like a really nice date at the Cheesecake Factory. Compared to other travel credit cards, here is where the Amex Green card's annual fee stands. But keep in mind that annual fees only tell a part of the story. So let's move on to the reward categories again, which is arguably the best part about this card. And that's all because of how generous the travel reward category is with this credit card. But to put things into perspective, you're gonna have to spend around $2,500 every year on travel and dining purchases in order to justify that $150 annual fee. And that's because if you spend $2,500 with the 3x point multiplier, you're gonna end up with 7,500 Amex points, which at a 2 cent per point valuation equals $150 worth of points. Whereas if you had a credit card like the Chase Sapphire Preferred card, you would only need to spend around $2,375 in order to justify that card's annual fee of just $95 a year. And that's only if you use the 2x travel category that the Chase Sapphire Preferred card offers. If you use the 3 times points on dining category or the other categories, then the actual annual spend that you have to put on the Sapphire Preferred is a lot lower than $2,375. And like I mentioned earlier in this video, I'm not too happy or stoked about the credits that come with the Amex Green card. The Clear credit doesn't even cover the full membership cost, and the Lounge Access credit isn't gonna last you very long. In my opinion, I think in most cases it's almost always better to spend a little extra money to get that premium travel credit card, because you're going to get way more value from that even though you're paying a higher annual fee. And that's because cards like the Platinum card, Sapphire Reserve, and Venture X cards have way more credits and benefits even though you are paying that higher annual fee. For example, with those cards you'll get unlimited access to lounges and free TSA PreCheck or Global Entry credit, which in my opinion is a lot better than the Clear membership. The Amex Green card is kind of in that weird, awkward middle ground where it should be a little bit more powerful than the Chase Sapphire Preferred card or cards of that caliber or annual fee, but at the same time not be quite as valuable as those higher, more expensive premium travel credit cards. I think that's a great opportunity for travel credit cards to go for, is that middle ground, but Amex just missed the mark. They could have added better credits or maybe dropped the annual fee to like even $100. There's so much potential for a credit card with an annual fee of $100 to $300. Hopefully we'll see something in the future in that middle ground territory that will add solid value to its cardholders. The Amex Green card to me just doesn't make any sense when you could get credit cards like the Capital One Ventures Reward credit card for just $95 a year. And that card will give you access to the Capital One lounges twice a year. It will also give you a credit for the TSA PreCheck and Global Entry fee, and you'll get 2x points on all of your purchases. And that's just one example of a credit card that just provides more value than what the Amex Green does currently. Or if you really want an American Express credit card and you're willing to pay a little bit higher of an annual fee, I think the Amex Gold card is a better pick for you. Yes, the annual fee is $250, but you get 4x points on dining and groceries, and you'll get up to $240 worth of food credits each year. I know this is a pretty polar, dramatic opinion to think that the Amex Green card is the worst travel credit card out there, but I also don't think that it is an underrated credit card because it just doesn't have the value that it should. So the question is, who really is this credit card for? I think it's primarily for those people who live in a major city who don't own a car. These are the kind of people who are using the subways, taxis, cabs, Ubers, just other sources of public transportation to get around as opposed to driving their own car. This means those people will rack up a lot of points on that 3x travel category on those different travel purchases. Sure, there are other demographics and use cases for this credit card, but I think that's the type of person who will really make a lot of use of the Amex Green card. All in all, I think the main selling point of the Amex Green card is the broad travel category. But if you can't make use of that, then this card is not worth it for you. What do you think though? Is the Amex Green card really underrated, or is it really not that good? And if you do have the Amex Green card, tell me why you have it and why you like it so much. I'm curious to hear your opinion, so let me know what you think down below. But until then, unfortunately, the Amex Green card will not be in my wallet anytime soon. Other than that, thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you have a fun rest of your day. I'll see you in the next one. Shoots.